Well, the reports of the Chiefs' demise might have been greatly exaggerated. How about that performance by Mahomes, who's honestly having a great season? I think a lot of people felt like just with the kind of personnel coming in, like, could Mahomes ever be an MVP candidate with some of this stuff? But the guy's got a passer rating of 99 on the year, 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, passer rating of 132 in this game, admittedly against a very injured Lions secondary. But still, let's talk about what he was able to do so effectively in this game. Let's just get into it. Starting off with the play you see on your screen. So this is a simple thing, but it's zone coverage, and I mean that's what the Chiefs do well, is the simple stuff, right? They're so good at this stuff. It's a concept where you have a receiver running a setup route. Kelsey's just going to try and get underneath the zone coverage. Watch as when this begins, Kelsey's open underneath. Again, it feels just automatic for the Chiefs, these types of plays. It's one of those things where I think when you watch the broadcast, a lot of people get annoyed of like, why do people go so crazy over the Chiefs when they make like a pretty simple play? Like, every team can do this. Every team can, but it feels like the Chiefs do it just way more consistently than every other team. Also, for Kelsey, a lot of talk of him, is he washed up? Well, watch him make this grab and make him move. It's that little fake going one way, going the other way, even when he can't see the defenders. I mean, that's what Kelsey's been doing his whole career, right? And because of that, they're able to pick up even more yards on the play. So, again, simple stuff, but if you do the simple stuff at a high level, it's a good offense. Like, this one's another one. This is just like, teams have to try and figure out a way to stop this, because the Chiefs are this is like their version of the tush push. They seemingly hit this all the time. It's a 4th down and 3. These rub routes, they're just so good at the rub routes. I really think that you have to, on a situation like this, prepare a switch and prepare saying, kind of like basketball, saying, hey, let's switch guys we're covering in these spots, because essentially that's what you're doing, is you're having both receivers just kind of cross over each other, and you see when it begins, that little rub, getting in the way of the defender you're going up against. Not a pick play, it's well executed. It was not a pick play for 2 reasons. One, receiver made it seem as though he's running a route, which makes it not a pick. And also, it was before 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, which, as we learned last week, a lot of us knew that beforehand, but as it was reminded last week, you get a yard. Here, this is just so open on a 4th and 3. Mahomes able to make that throw. Again, it just feels automatic sometimes with the Chiefs. It's nothing fancy, and people watching this casually might say, like, oh, well, how are guys getting so open? Well, it's this. And you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff for consistently making these plays work. Although heading over here, like, I don't want to make it seem as though it's all coaching and all scheme and all simple stuff. I mean, Mahomes was making some nice plays out there as well. So, like, this play, it's going to be a zone coverage concept. They have a receiver who's going to be going more over the middle. There's going to be a play action. It's Smith-Schuster is the guy they're going to try and head. Mahomes is going to take the snap. The play action and Mahomes in motion helps draw 2 linebackers very far out of position. You see Smith-Schuster is open, although the safety, Kirby Joseph, who's a really good safety, crashing in trying to make a play. He reads this appropriately. He's trying to get in position. It's actually a very good play by him. But Mahomes just beats him, gets the ball there quicker, and now the safety's gone because he was trying to knock the ball away. Brian Branch ultimately makes a tackle on Juju Smith-Schuster. Not the first time Brian Branch would not be the last time Brian Branch contacted Juju Smith-Schuster that night. But it's a great throw from Mahomes, right? It really is. Good enough throw to even beat the good defense. This play, another one, which is just a deadly play. So it's 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. So, okay, run up the middle is coming, surely, right? Well, instead, Mahomes is going to, it's this weird way that they do this, right? Where they have him kind of, almost like start as though he's going to hand the ball off, but then just go in motion toward the bottom of the screen, almost like he's running like a hook type of form situation there. What's interesting about this play is, so it's an option play, and I believe this is a true option play. Mahomes can flip it to the halfback, or he can take it himself. And the thing is, in the NFL, you're just not used to defending these plays. In high school and college, you'll defend these plays, but in the NFL, not so much. So ideally, what you want to do is make sure to, first play, what you have to make sure you do is tackle the ball carrier, force him to make the flip, and you have 2 defenders on these 2 players. Like, again, you didn't notice was coming, so it's hard to make sure you have the right communication. But ultimately, what you have to do is make sure you at least tackle Mahomes, force him to flip the ball, because that's just an extra thing that offense has to execute on. right? But here they both kind of play the flip, and because of that, Mahomes is able to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Brian Branch contacts him there. Brian Branch and the Chiefs, not friends in this game. But yeah, again, that bullet over at the end if you missed it. But this is just ridiculous stuff from Mahomes. And there was other ridiculous stuff from Mahomes, like heading over here. So this is going to be I don't get how Mahomes does this. So this is a zone coverage play, and it's going to be actually a bit of an exotic way that the Lions are running this zone coverage. It doesn't look that on the screen. It looks like just a regular cover 2, but they're going to have a defensive lineman drop back into coverage and then another player rush to passer. So going to try and kind of fool both the blocking concept and the coverage down the field a little bit. In doing that, Mahomes takes the snap. It's picked up nicely, though, by the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes, I think he wanted to throw this check down. I really do. I think that it was just Brian Branch, actually, who I keep talking about, was in the throwing lane. He was the guy who ended up kind of blitzing, because it's still just a 4-man rush, but he was, rushing in when he wasn't, didn't look like he was going to. Anyway, Mahomes, look at how quickly he goes from looking downfield to throwing downfield. Watch as he just looks downfield and just flips it to Kelsey, who gets wide open due to, again, guys do kind of shuffling in the secondary to try to make this, if you're going to try and fool the offense, you have to make sure you still do your job, which they did not. They lost Kelsey, a guy you can't lose there. But just the awareness of Mahomes looking down the field and then getting rid of the ball so quickly. I've never seen anyone do it quite like Mahomes. I just haven't. Now, I will say, like, something like this is fair to bring up, which is, as I brought up, a lot of injuries in the Lions secondary entering this game. Because of that, you did see some stuff like this, which is it's a man coverage play on a 3rd and goal, which is a huge play in the game. If the Lions can get this stop, it's now just a 6-point game. I think the Chiefs probably go for it. But, if they can get a stop and keep it a 1-score game with less than 10 minutes left, like, this is very much anyone's game. Mahomes takes a snap, and the Lions just blow this coverage. No one's on Hollywood Brown right here. It's just blown coverage, and because of that, Mahomes isn't going to miss this stuff. Watch, flips it to Hollywood Brown. You have to assume with with guys that are used to playing with each other in there, they can at least get everyone on the same page, cover everybody, right? Maybe not. Maybe the Chiefs maybe it was going to be blown coverage either way, but we did see some mistakes that maybe you don't usually see from the Detroit Lions defense when they're healthy, but at the same time, teams are rarely fully healthy, and even we knew those injuries were going to be a thing entering the game. The Lions were still favored to, well, actually, I believe the Chiefs were favored to win, but they were favored to win by like 2 points, not by double digits. So very impressive performance from Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Mahomes, again, I think people kind of got on the disrespect train after they lost the Super Bowl last year. Still a very good player. Still the best player in football, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes is. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.